Hey folks, Hope here, and today begins the largest project I have ever attempted in this hardcore world. Yes, larger than the world tree, even larger than a whole nother perimeter, or removing the entire end to build another tree. And you know what? I am so excited for this project. I'm going to completely transform multiple biomes into a new beautiful landscape. I recently posted a short asking for people to subscribe, and I had placed 25 blocks on this project, and well, I currently owe 108,000 blocks. So in my excitement for this project, let's make it even worse. For every new subscriber on this video, I'll add another 25 blocks to the count because I want this to be crazy massive. So leave a like and let's get blocking. This river serves as the southern border of my new crazy terraforming project. So to me, it makes sense to start here and fix up the riverbed before moving on. Stage 1, I want to connect the river to the ocean as it's already fairly close. I made sure to grab 9 empty shulker boxes from my base before jumping over here. Setting all those boxes down, I did start to clear out all of the trees in the areas as I need all of the materials I can get to bring this project together, so we're keeping all the leaves, logs, dirt, and you name it, it goes in the box. Quickly, a good chunk of the surrounding forest just disappeared. In this newly opened up space, I set up a beacon as we might have the line of sight now, but it's gonna be pretty difficult to get a boat to the ocean currently. Haste 2 Electric Boogaloo is ready to go, so I started to tear down the dirt on top and reshaped our hillside to come down to a much more natural riverbed so it can be something passable for now. We do need a river, so I dug down 6 or 7 blocks across the entire section and replaced the stone with dirt as I went. Along the bottom, we are deep into the stone layer, so I had to do one more round, a little bit more intensive this time, placing all of the dirt across the new bottom of the river. Now for the most painful part, I turned all of the water into source blocks as it really bugs me as a Minecrafter when I see flowing water in the middle of a body of water. Yes, that includes all the way down here for the source blocks. But look at our nice new river leading all the way out to the ocean, minus a sandbar in the way. Oh, it's a turtle. Hi, buddy. I just now have 9 shulker boxes full of so much junk. I want to be smart with this project here as we're going to be picking up a ton of blocks as we go today, so I'm going to be dropping all this stuff back off in their respective storage rooms instead of being a bad Minecrafter and tossing it all on my front porch. We now have an extra for 10 empty shulker boxes, and it is time to venture back over to the project site, where next I need to clear out the entire oak forest going back nearly 30 blocks from the river. Let's just set ourselves back up in here next to the good Puppo. Hi, buddy. And I guess I got a forest to chop down. Hoe's still good to go, and so is the axe. I am just now realizing how stupidly massive of a project I'm starting with this one. Even though I've said it a few times already, it hasn't really set in quite yet until I've nearly spent an hour clearing out all of these trees for this small section of the forest that I need to clear out hopefully the entire thing today, but we'll see if that's gonna happen. One very busted netherite hoe here, and we have almost 5 shulker boxes full of our oak leaves. Let me finish off this last one here real quick. Much better. We've already cleared out a pretty massive chunk of the forest with that entire stretch, but I need to take this all the way down outside of render distance. Whew, that's a big project. We can put the shulkers full of oak leaves right in here. Never mind. That's already full of oak leaves. Oak leaves go in the shulker. Shulkers go in the oak leaf box. Whip go into nether. Ow. Well, actually here into the end, as I've got to repair up all of my tools at the Enderman farm. There we go, fully repaired. Now, I think I was a smart Minecrafter and I left my bed. I did. Look at me. Oh, I'm so smart. Oh, I have to go back anyways. I forgot to get more empty shulker boxes. mostly because both of my hose are pretty busted and I don't want to repair them again. I just want to get this done. The Shulker Box is set up in the soon-to-be Nada Forest, and I took a little nap to bring back the sunshine. And back to the tree chopping I go, as I really want to move on to that next step here soon. I can't even begin the terraforming project until all of these trees are out of the way, so I can start to build up the land and raise up the elevation of this entire region, which is going to be very important for the future world's lore. Okay, maybe there is a little lore behind this world. It's fine. We are halfway through another netherite axe, and we've got ourselves a little under 2 Shulker Boxes of logs here with some other random goodies. As these last leaves despawn, the entire north side of our river is cleared out. I'll probably have to take this back a little farther with the spruce trees, but this is cleared. It's fine. It's cleared. And it's time to switch to the shovel, as I want this river to have a pretty large impact for our terrain, as it's kind of the main thing separating everything. So it feels a little weird when it gets to be this skinny. So we can take a few of these points where it does get to be a wee bit skinnier along the edge, and for now we're just going to be dropping it down ever so slightly so that we can expand the width of the river, especially in spaces like this. Yeah, we've really got to bring this one back. Eventually I do want to redo the entire opposite side too, but we're just a little crazy today. We're not completely crazy. Look how fancy and open this is. The perfect campus to mess up even further and hopefully eventually maybe make it look a little good. Yeah, I hope. I'm supposed to be placing blocks here, but all I've done today is break nearly 60,000 blocks. Wrong way. Wrong way for the counter to go. But with the river finally widened out, it's time to start landscaping. Let's go over the plan. I want to create a flatland area here for some farmland regions along the river's edge before adding in a cliff along the backside. Now that's a little boring and kind of straight liney, so I want to also break that up with some new waterways that we can keep going up into the hills and our future mountains that are going to be coming in. I found Minecraft riverbeds look the best with like 1 or 2 blocks of dirt right along the edge of the water, and then we bring it up to our grassy edge here and gradually start working our way up, sloping it ever so smoothly. Minecraft by default looks like if the river were to rise at all, it would just flood half of the space around it, so I want to kind of build in a natural elevation so that it looks like the river could raise or lower depending on the season. So in some spaces that does mean I need to bring this out a good chunk. Throwing a quick third layer in here to give a good example before we carry this throughout the rest of our landscape. This is definitely going to take a lot of blocks to carry across the entire region, but I'm really happy with how this is looking already. Lots of little places to fiddle with, but that to me looks so much better than default Minecraft terrain. This is going to take a lot of grass blocks to complete the terrain. For now, I'm going for the base shape, and we can detail it all later on and add more life in here as we go. I'm very happy to finally be placing blocks instead of breaking, so I want to really focus on just getting the rough shape in for now. Finished all the way from our first river right there to where the second waterway As is tradition, we also now have a mob spawner underneath the terrain. Uh-oh. Before I fully commit to this landscaping idea and send it all the way down around the corner, I'm really trying to use this 100 or so block stretch as a bit of a test spot. I do have a third shulker of grass blocks here, and I did stop at where I want that second mountain stream to be coming down, so I'm thinking we need to extend a little bit further beyond that. So on the far side of our second river, we can place down all of this here to finish off the distance of our test for our lower section today. Now, I am really liking this, but it's very bland. And I also don't want to super detail it quite yet, so we can add some rocks. I think we can mess up the terrain even further by coming down here and just adding in a bunch of our stones that we can create these large boulders on the river edge. We've done a few bits like this before, but this should help a good amount. And then behind all of this, we can just extend the dirt up even more, which will kind of ruin the perfect, almost grid-shaped lines that I have so far. This is really going to help to mess that up even more. I don't want it to be too tall or really everywhere, but I think little bits like that are going to work. Maybe we can come and do one like right here, and even a little bit of dirt thrown on top of this so it doesn't actually go all the way back, which will help ruin the slope of just always going up. We can have a little bumps here and there. Ignore the one thick dirt terrain going under here. We can just throw another rock to hide that. And wow, look, it's too thick back here. Oh, wow, amazing. First stretch is done. And yeah, I think a little bit like that is going to help a lot. We got to add a lot more details in here eventually, but just trying to get the base shapes in for now. Rocks are looking pretty good along here. And one thing that is also really bugging me is this. So I went back home and got a ton of mud. I mean, a ton of mud. And I want to start by tearing out this lowest layer here to create that river border feel here with our mud on this lowest layer, just to make it pop out a bit more. We'll probably mess it up even further as we're moving later, but for now, this can get the idea across. We're just gonna listen to all these lovely sounds of mud placing. Oh yeah, listen to that one. Yep, one of the best blocks to place in the game. I think I brought a little bit too much mud. The entire trim is now in place on this side of the river. I missed a block. Now it's in place. Well, at least up to the end of our test plot. I'm kind of working in the phase right now where you're beginning a painting and you're just like blocking out all of the different colors. So we have the green of our grass, we have our mud down here, and we got the little bit of the gray patches of our stone in place. With that, I am very happy with how this process has come together so far on the landscape. But a very important step in the process of being creative is to stop looking at the thing you're messing around with. So it's time for a little bit of a break from this landscape. It is looking pretty good though. As I'm starting a massive project in the overworld, it got me thinking back to the world map hall in my castle. I'd like to change up this central room and create an aquarium in the four corners with a big glass tank above the room. To get started, I do need to copy the designs of my existing archways around to the other two future halls that will be extensions leading out there eventually. Then we can clear back the space in between the two established halls so I can know how much room I have to work with in between all of the maps before we repeat this to the other three corners. Exposing a few caves made this a lot quicker, and I threw in some glass in front to seal off the tanks for now. For a light inside of each of the fish tanks, I'm installing a polished blackstone ceiling, and then I put some frog lights in to add a little light coming down before we can pick up everything needed to detail out the tanks. I want to bring in some blue for our tanks here, so I'm using blue wool at the base and then light blue terracotta for the rest of the walls to help contrast against the mangrove